How did you decide to make this an album versus just putting out singles?
Well, I said in our bio that being a band snuck up on us. Like we were touring, we wrote a couple songs together, we recorded them. We had 6 months between the time we recorded the next one, then the pandemic happened and da 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 da. So we did it piece by piece, and it really wasn't until about half, the typical way that you release music in the internet age is to release singles. You release a single on Spotify, and then 6 weeks later you release it on Spotify, so that the algorithm tells you, And I don't think I didn't think any of that stuff worked then. I don't think any of it works now that we're in the middle of it. We've released singles, and it's just like, I don't know. So, but in the big process of, we just kept recording songs, and we were about, I don't know, 3/4 of the way through. We had about 3/4 of songs, maybe like 8 songs done, and it was just kind of like, I think we're making an album and becoming a real band. We just, like, you don't think, like, our life isn't set up so you can play shows and, like, play shows at the local bar and hone your craft and stuff like that. We tour, so we're on the road all the time. So it was just like we had this window in the pandemic that opened up that allowed us to write these songs. And then as we started recording and once touring came back, it was kind of obvious that, like, we were becoming a band. And I feel like we painted ourselves into a corner in a good way, where it was like, okay, well, we've almost got like a whole record. We should just, like, make a record and, like, just do a record, which is totally out of time and doesn't make any sense compared to, like, how you make records these days. So, but it you've heard this said before, it does feel like a complete picture of a timeline of a thing, that what's happening at that time. And I think a lot of the things are still happening, so it's still relevant. So, like, the creation window that was opened up that allowed us to make this batch of songs feels like a complete thing. And it felt complete when we had, I guess, Handclasp was being the last song. When we had that, it felt like, okay, well, there's the album opener. We got 3 great singles or 5 great singles, or every song is a hit song, or whatever. You just write every song to be great, and as you record them, they become like, this single's maybe a little better than that one, or that's a little catchier, or that one's killer, or as it comes along, and then you've got an album all of a sudden. So we sort of tricked it. I think we sort of recorded ourselves into a corner where it was just like the only thing to do is, like, release an album.